At 13 minutes to 7. Well, this is Morning Express, and it's time for us to have our Friday chat here with a gentleman who is known as Kennedy Kachwanya. Great to have you. And Kennedy is the chairman of the Bloggers Association of Kenya.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Thank
Now,
you.
Bloggers Association of Kenya, what is that all about?
Well, it's a body that represents the content creators online, mostly bloggers, of course. And the idea is to promote the local content and ensure that we have quality and quantity. You know, for some time, the content about Kenya mostly were done in foreign. Of course, the media houses used to do their best, but the majority of content, you know, you put it in context, was like 90% done from abroad.
Okay.
So we thought, you know, in 2011, 2010, we thought maybe we need a body that promote local content and take advantage of internet, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, blogging initially, as I remember, it was something that is done very casually and very, you know, it's something that you just do like you're free, you know, it's like your poetic side that you just want to explore. Why do you need an association to have that? I mean, why not just continue as we are?
Well, the idea at the beginning was to promote local content. But of course, with time, you realize that there are many other interests for the bloggers. There are those who don't want to do it casually, as you're saying. There are those who want to look at it as a business. And at the same time, the people who also have deeper thoughts. And it's not just a hobby. They have that opinion that they want to put out there. But obviously, media houses can only, you know, represent
So far.
So far.
Okay.
So yeah, and you know, the internet obviously has that huge opportunity. So people have, you know, a chance to express themselves, and you know, the audience is much larger than you would expect. But
Okay.
you see, blogging started as something to do with a diary kind of.
Right. So what benefits would I have if I'm a blogger, for instance, if I join the Bloggers Association of Kenya? Apart from now my content maybe being given that international platform, which I can still get anyway, because internet really is not restricted to the country.
Yeah, that's true. Huh? So one of the things we do constantly is training. So we provide training, technical aspect of, you know, using some of the tools you need to be successful. Blogging, and then also we have, of course, looking at the content itself. Apart from that, obviously, you know that every year we reward the best content creators that the Bake Kenya Blog Awards.
Okay.
Yes.
And we're going to come to that, the Bake Awards, which I'm sure will be coming up not too long from now,
Yes.
and you'll give us more details on that.
Yeah.
But there've also been challenges for bloggers, especially given that bloggers are really out there to get some information out. There's those who are just doing it for, you know, for pleasure, for enjoying themselves. There are others who possibly double up even as journalists and are out to give some information. Given the security issues that we've had recently in the country, we've had quite a number of bloggers arrested. Are you taking care of that angle of blogging? Yes,
we do. One of the things we have been doing, of course, the training I was talking about is not just technical alone. Huh? There is also law and internet. And the idea of doing the training on law and internet is for people to understand the boundaries and understand the Constitution, because we realize that most people get arrested because, one, they probably don't even know their rights. Two, they sometimes go overboard. But the bigger problem in terms of challenge in that is that the government is not really following the law as it is. So if somebody says something that's defamatory, then the best way would be to, you know, go to court, complain, go to court, and then have the person, you know, answered for what he has said. But in this case, it's more of harassment. So the police is sent on Friday, you are arrested, you are detained for the whole weekend, then maybe the pressure now come up, and then on Monday you are released. I mean, that's not good. That's not right.
Now, recently we had 8 bloggers who were arrested, and we didn't see the Bloggers Association of Kenya, you know, participate in trying to...
We did.
You did? What exactly did you do?
Well, obviously, we had a lot of conversation with the bloggers themselves. And then obviously we had talks with Article 19, that's organization which usually help us with legal issues. And so in the background we were talking with the Article 19 and this other organization that can help. We have also met the UN Human Rights Commission. They came specifically to meet us because of this issue. We also have, we also had, you know, a lot of media coverage on this, and you know, we had a strong statement out there, denouncing and, you know, really explaining what we feel should be done instead of arbitrary arrest. There are clear way that they can do it.
That they can do it, okay,
Yeah.
and also abiding by the law.
Yes.
Are you also then advising the bloggers what not to do?
Yes,
especially because there's, we see with freedom comes responsibility.
True.
And one of the things that government has been raising is saying that fine, you're free to do whatever you like, but there needs to be responsibility in it.
Yeah, it's true, and that's why I told you this. We have two types of training. One of the training we do is, we call it law and internet. And the idea behind it, we have the advocate of High Court. We work closely with a gentleman called Olaibuta. And what we do with him is to clearly explain what our laws entails and what are the boundaries, as I was saying earlier. What are some of the things that you should not do that clearly, even if you do outside there, would be against the law. So things like hate speech, obviously this country still remember very well what happened in 2008. So that's something that we clearly ensure that we tell the bloggers. Obviously as an association also we have ethics that we bring in the members to, you know, agree with. So the strong members, or actually the members themselves, we have not had this problem. Obviously the people outside our membership. But that does not mean that they are entirely wrong on what they are doing. I just feel that if the government feel that somebody has broken the law, there's a clear channel. There's a clear path to address that. Yeah.
Okay, but that's not to say that there are not some bloggers who possibly have gone against the law.
Yes, there are, I mean, possibly there are guys who have said things that probably should not.
They should not have said, or published pictures that they should not have published. Okay, fine. Let's come to the Baker Awards. And what is that all about?
No, this is the idea of, you know, with the time we realize that how do we encourage people to do more? I mean, also to be consistent on what they're doing. Because with the time we realize some people start and then they fade off. So we started the Baker Awards, and the idea is to, you know, reward the best bloggers across the year. So we do it normally the first week of May. So this year it will be on 7th of May. But the process is already ongoing. We had the submission phase, which ended on 10th February. And obviously we had very good reaction compared to last year and the years before. So like last year we had 1,800 blogs submitted. This year we have over 5,000 blogs submitted for the consideration. So we have judges going through the blogs now up to end of this month. Then beginning of March, we will have the voting phase. So it's the public who decide now become the ultimate winner for each category. We have 19 categories.
Okay, what are some of those categories?
So some of these categories are education, for example. We have health, we have agriculture and environment, we have technology, business, we have fashion, we have entertainment, we have also added religion. Those are some of the categories.
So how do the judges come up with, once you filtered in, because I'm sure the public will come in to finally give who they feel is the best to vote, but I'm sure there has to be a filtering process.
Yes.
What's the procedure of knowing what is a good blog and what's not a good blog? Because things, I mean, the beauty or the uniqueness about blogging is that that's my view.
Yes,
it's true. You don't have to subscribe to it, but that's my view.
It's true. But the judges, we have 5 judges, and what they do, first of all, they are experienced people, either on media industry or very experienced bloggers. And they are people who basically, even before coming to judge, they read blogs. They, you know, interact with most of these blogs. The next step is, you see, one of the things we look at is first consistency. How have you been consistent across the board? Because the idea was, throughout the year. So because one of the idea was to ensure that people can do more and do quality. Of course, quality now depends on each judge what they think would be quality. But obviously, when you have 5 people, the consensus should give you the best. Or they look at other things like, you know, how do you market it? Do you have big fan base? Because obviously, you know, readers is part of voting platform, even
Right.
before we start voting. People reading your content means you are doing something right. So obviously they take their time to go through the blogs and you know, give the best. So the 5 per category, each of them, you know, each of those one can win. So obviously when you go to voting, now it's popularity contest.
Okay. Let's look at it from a different angle and look at the money-making side of blogging. How does one make money out of blogging?
There are many ways. One of the things that we've been looking at closely, which I think have not been done clearly, is subscription model. Because I realized that whenever I go for training out there, I ask guys if they could pay for a good content, I mean, a good blogging content. And always the answer I get is that they would be willing to pay, especially if you're charging less. So if somebody is charging, let's say 100 per month, that would per person, that would look little. But if you are able to grow your fan base, if you are able to pull, because most of these blogs do over 100,000 per month, people viewing their content. So if you're able to pull, let's say 10,000, that's good money at the end of the month. But at the same time, there is also the normal traditional way of, you know, advertising, where you have banners on the blog. And then the other one is now the issue of, you know, digital space, Twitter and Facebook, and, you know, people having campaigns, companies having campaigns, and they, you know, bloggers is one channel that they use to push some of those campaigns online.
Those things.
Yeah.
Okay, and now for maybe an aspiring blogger, somebody who'd like to get into blogging, what are some of the things that they need to know and be aware of so that now you can get into the system?
The good thing with blogging is the barrier to entry is low. There's a way that you can get in without paying any cent. You just need to know which platform to use, maybe WordPress or Blogspot. But at the same time, obviously, if you want to be a bit serious, then you need to buy a domain, because domain is now like your brand identity.
Right.
Yeah, so you buy a domain, get a host. Probably will cost you like 5,000 to 6,000, and then from there, you basically need to have the site set up,
okay,
which is not hard, but that's also the reason why we have training as BEC to help out with the search process if somebody is not techie in
savvy.
tech savvy. Yeah. So the barrier to entry is that low. So the next step, obviously, is I would say that people need to do what they are passionate about. So content.
And that now would be the generating of content.
Yes, yes, because some people start and then they fade off because doing content is not as easy as sometimes it may seem. Yeah. So if you're passionate about, let's say, fashion, go for it.
Go for it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Kennedy Kachwanya,
Yes.
Chairman for BAKE, which is Bloggers Association Kenya. And if somebody wanted to get in touch with BAKE, how do you do that? Are you online? You're obviously online.
Yes, yes. Yeah, but you can, you know, get us through, first of all, our site is bake.co.ke. And of course, that's the aggregation point. And then, of course, info@bake.or.ke. That email will come to us directly. And obviously, to join, you need to register on our site, and then the next step is to pay 1,500 joining fee and 500 for membership card.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Kennedy, and that's where we're going to wind up this particular interview.